situation, and we analyze social media footages. We analyze social medias which can be unverified at times, and we analyze those unverified social media footages and reports purely from educational and documentary point of view, strongly for the YouTube community guidelines. To begin with, the news is that President Trump has said that the entire country of Iran could be taken down in one night, and possibly that night can be the tomorrow's night. This was the statement of President Donald Trump, which he gave, and he said that entire Iranian country can be taken down in one night, and that one night can be, who knows, tomorrow's night. These are the latest visuals from thick smoke rose over the western Tehran near Azadi Tower on Monday after strikes targeting government positions. And these are the latest attacks on Iran. We are showing you the latest attacks on Iran. Despite the talks of ceasefire being going on, mediated by Pakistan, Turkey, and Egypt, still the attacks from both countries haven't stopped, and the attacks are still continuing. Pakistan, Turkey, and Egypt are mediating the talks, and Pakistan has also handed over a temporary ceasefire proposal to Iran as well as US. And let's see if the ceasefire can happen. Let's see if the ceasefire would happen or not. Iran has clearly rejected the ceasefire, the temporary ceasefire. Iran has said that no temporary ceasefire. They wouldn't agree to any temporary ceasefire, and they said that the ceasefire must be permanent, and US Israel shouldn't be bombing again Iran. Iran also asks for future guarantees from international community that Iran wouldn't be bombed again by US and Israel. A 45-day temporary ceasefire plan has been rejected by Iran, saying that ceasefire can only happen if it is a complete ceasefire, not a temporary ceasefire. Let's begin with the most important news from latest news. Let's begin with them. Overnight, Israel struck three major Tehran airports, the Bahran, the Mehrabad, and Azmaish airports, destroying dozens of Iran's Air Force helicopters and transport planes. So, three airports in Tehran have been hit: Bahran, Mehrabad, and Azmaish, destroying dozens of Iranian Air Force helicopters and transport planes. Israel also claims that they have killed Major General Majid Khadimi, the head of IRGC intelligence, in a precision strike in Tehran. Israel claims that they have killed Major General Majid Khadimi. It's a big news that the intelligence head of IRGC, Major General Khalid Khadimi, has been killed by Israel in precision strikes in Tehran. This is the major update, which is that intelligence chief of IRGC Majid Khadimi has been killed by precision strikes in Tehran by Israel. Leader of the IRGC undercover expeditionary unit was also killed in the same wave of strikes. Quds Force Commander Asghar Bakri, who's the leader of IRGC's undercover expeditionary unit, was also killed in the same wave of strikes, which killed Majid Khadimi, the head of intelligence head of IRGC. Both of these men, important personalities, killed by Israeli airstrikes. The petrochemical hub has also been destroyed. The South Pars petrochemical plant in Asalue, which is responsible for 50% of Iran's production, was leveled by Israeli airstrikes, a massive blow to Iran. That the petrochemical hub was destroyed. The South Pars petrochemical plant in Asalue was destroyed by Israeli bombings. President Trump also confirmed that the successful rescue of missing American weapons system officer from Iranian territory. He threatened to jail the journalist who first leaked the search mission if they don't reveal their source. A-10 Warthog. Iran claims to have shot down a US A-10 ground attack plane over the Gulf, which was basically carrying out the rescue mission of that weapons system officer. This A-10 Warthog was downed in that, and also C-130 and Black Hawk helicopters were downed by Iran. The Iranians claimed they were downed, but the US says that they were purposely destroyed by US so that the stealth technology doesn't land in the hands of Iran. These are the visuals which we show. The Quran B-1 bridge connecting Tehran and Karaj to prevent Iran from moving missiles to Western launching sites. This bridge was bombed. When this bridge was bombed, this is basically the destruction of the bridge. We're showing you that Karaj bridge which was bombed, and this is the bridge B1 bridge which serves us for logistical purposes, and this is B1 bridge which connects Tehran and Karaj, and it was used for moving missiles to Western launching sites. This was the bridge that was used to connect Tehran and Karaj. It connected Tehran and Karaj, and it was basically used to move missiles from moving missiles to Western launching sites. The US has also threatened that they would be bombing power plants and bridges if ceasefire doesn't happen now. And the deadline is basically ending. It's near, and it's just a matter of a few hours that the deadline would end. And if no ceasefire takes place, the US said that they would be bombing the bridges and the power plants of Iran. And Iran replied even aggressively. They said that if US attacks the power plants and the grid stations of Iran and the bridges of Iran, then the Strait of Bab el-Mandeb, which accounts for 12% of the global trade supply, that would be closed by Houthis and Iranians if Iranians get attacked with boots on grounds, or their power plants and grid stations are attacked or bridges are attacked, then they would be closing the Strait of Bab el-Mandeb, which accounts for 12% of the global trade supply and oil supply. And Strait of Hormuz accounts for 25% of that supply, and the Strait of Hormuz is also blocked since the beginning of the war, and it's been 39 days that the strait is closed. And if that too gets closed, the Strait of Bab el-Mandeb, then you can see that the oil, which is now $110 per barrel, would touch immediately $150 per barrel. The Pasteur Institute and Daro Paksh pharmaceutical plants in Tehran were hit, sparking international concerns over civilian medicine supplies. there is news that the Pasteur Institute and the pharmaceutical plants in Tehran were hit, sparking international concerns over civilian medicines. An Iranian ballistic missile struck a residential building in Haifa, killing a family of four. Iranian ballistic missile struck a residential building in Haifa, killing a family of four. Iran rejects basically 45-day deal. Tehran officially rejected a US-backed proposal for a 45-day temporary ceasefire, calling it a trap. Iran says that through Pakistani mediators, Iran has countered with a demand for a permanent end to war and a full lifting of sanctions. Pakistan remains the primary mediator, but officials in Islamabad warn that spoilers are trying to derail the talks. Qatar's foreign minister told Iran that a diplomatic solution is the only way out as Gulf states fear total regional collapse. So Qatar's foreign minister told Iran that a diplomatic solution is the only way out as Gulf states fear total regional collapse. And the US president reiterated that if the Strait of Hormuz is not opened by tonight, he will authorize the destruction of Iran's entire national power grid. We are reading your comments. What's happening? I am already telling you what's happening. I am sharing you the news that what's happening. Said hi. Hi from my side too. Gerard Fleming. The Hormuz remains closed despite the ultimatum. Iran has reinforced its strait is closed stance with new anti-ship missiles batteries deployed along the coast. Kuwait and the UAE and Saudi Arabia have all activated Patriot and THAAD batteries to intercept daily Iranian drone swarms. Oil is now 110, and if ceasefire doesn't happen and US starts bombing the bridges, then this would be basically oil hitching $150 per barrel. What is the situation of Isfahan? Yesterday, Isfahan, Tehran and Isfahan, they were bombed, and three of the airports were bombed by Israel. And now we are having news that, which I already shared, that a head of intelligence IRGC has been killed by Israeli airstrikes, Majid Khadimi, a major general. And also I have shared the news that ceasefire talks are going on, and if they fail, these talks are mediated by Pakistan, and if they fail, the ceasefire talks, if they fail, then we would see that what President Trump is saying, that they would be hitting the power plants and the grid stations of Iran. To which Iran replied that if this happens, then they would be basically closing the Strait of Bab el-Mandab along with the Houthis as well. Trump threats to hit power plants and bridges marks a shift from military to military combat to infrastructural warfare, and the goal is to trigger a popular uprising in Iran by making daily life basically impossible. Analysts view the destruction of bridges and the rescue of F-15E pilot as the final shaping operations before a potential US Marine landing on Kyrg Island. So US is kind of thinking to take the Kyrg Island from Iran, because it's a major storage depot and of Iran. But it would be very difficult for US to take that Kyrg island because that island is very near to Iran, just a 25 kilometers distance from Iran, 25 miles basically from Iran. Now, any possibility of nuclear drops? Notes from himself says up till now, no possibility of nuclear drops. And let's hope this doesn't happen because that would be very dirty if this happens. But up till now, we see no chances of this war turning into a nuclear warfare. I have a poll created for you, and the poll is that will Iran-US war now escalate, or we will see ceasefire as the deadline approach till its end within few hours. And we have 41 votes, and 73% of people think yes, it would definitely escalate, and 27% of the people think that no, we will see a ceasefire. Please do subscribe the channel as well, and like the video and share the video as well. Let's move to some more news. President Trump has issued final warning to Tehran that reopen the Strait of Hormuz or face the destruction of Iran's entire national power grid and major bridges. In the president stated he would set Iran back to the Stone Ages. He basically exactly said this, that he would bomb Iran to Stone Ages if maritime traffic is not restored. He described Iran as strong, but not as strong strikes to infrastructure warfare. The goal is to make the cost of the regime's defiance unbearable for the civilian population, potentially triggering an internal proposal floated by Egyptian, Pakistani, and Turkish mediators. Through the Pakistani channel, who are basically leading the mediation, Iran stated it will not accept a temporary pause. Instead, they are demanding a permanent end to the war with the binding international guarantees that they will not be attacked again. Iran views the 45-day pause as trap that allows the US and Israel to resupply their munitions while keeping sanctions in place. By holding out for a permanent deal, they are betting that the global oil crisis will eventually force the West to blink. Major strikes and military losses in which South Pass had been hit. Israel has successfully leveled a key petrochemical plant in the South Pass natural gas field. This is massive economic blow to Iran. The IDF confirmed the killing of the intelligence chief of Quds Force along with 25 other personnels and have been killed in precision strikes in Tehran. Strait of Hormuz remains effectively shut to non-Iranian shippings. This has caused a global oil and gas panic, with the EU warning that prices will not return to normal if the war ends by tomorrow. The Bab el threat, Iran and the Houthis have hinted at a total disruption of Bab el if attacks at grid stations are launched by US and Israel. Also, if both Hormuz and Bab el-Mandab are closed simultaneously, nearly 25% of the world's energy supply would be cut off. Saudi Arabia's east-west pipeline, which ends at the Red Sea, was the only backup route, but Houthi blockade would trap this oil as well. Oil prices can reach up to 150 if the US hits the grids and power stations. With Hormuz closed, Oman's and Iranian officials are reportedly discussing mechanisms that who would control the Strait of Hormuz once the war ends. US forces are preparing for shaping operations. Hegseth has urged the army's chief of staff to step down to ensure more aggressive posture. President Macron has warned that the US acted alone and cannot fault allies for the economic fallout. So basically, this Emmanuel Macron has criticized Donald Trump that US acted alone when it started war with Iran, and he said that it's not the fault of the allies if the economic fallout happens. The war has moved past retaliation and into a war of attrition. Iran is using the global economy as shield by holding the straits, while the Trump administration is using the Iranian people's quality of life as a weapon by threatening the power grid. Tonight's deadline is the most critical moment since the conflict began. So this were basically the news, the important news which we shared with you, and we will ask you to please like, share and subscribe the video and the channel. We have now how many votes? We have 58 votes now, and the question was, will Iran-US war escalate or we will see ceasefire? 72% of the people think that the war will definitely escalate, and 28% of the people said that we would see a ceasefire that is mediated by Pakistan, Turkey and Egypt. Can the US hold Kharg Island? US is planning for a limited war, and they are planning to take the Kharg Island, and let's discuss this. Can the US actually hold this Kharg Island? Kharg Island is basically the jugular vein of Iran's economy, handling over 90% of its oil exports. So while US Marines and Special Ops could certainly seize the island quickly due to overwhelming air superiority, holding it is still a logistical nightmare. The island is only about 40 kilometers away from Iranian coast. This puts every US soldier on the island within the range of Iran's thousands of missiles, short-range missiles, heavy artillery and suicidal drones. Iran could choose to shell its own infrastructure to kill US troops, essentially saying if we can't have our oil, no one can. To hold the Kharg Island, the US would need to maintain a constant missile defense umbrella of the island 24/7. Military analysts warn this would lead to mission creep, where the US is forced to invade Iranian mainlands just to stop the artillery firing at the islands. Iran also threatened UAE and Bahrain's coastal areas that if US seizes Iranian territory like Kharg Island, Iran will retaliate by attempting to seize or occupy parts of UAE, specifically the Northern Emirates and Bahrain. Why would Iran do this? Iran would use it as a strategic leverage hostage territory. If the US holds Kharg Island, Iran wants to hold something of equal or greater value to trade. Capturing parts of UAE or Bahrain would give Iran bargaining chips to force a US withdrawal. By attacking the UAE and Bahrain, Iran aims to prove that US cannot protect its allies. The goal here is to make the cost of supporting the US to so high that the Gulf nations demand ceasefire. Also, Bahrain uh, Bahrain is the headquarters of the 5th US fleet. A ground or amphibious assault on Bahraini coast would be direct attempt to paralyze US naval operations in the region if Iran thinks of doing any such of attack. Seizing coastal areas on the other side of the Gulf would give Iran control over uh, both sides of shipping lanes, making it impossible for US to clear the Strait of Hormuz. Now let's see. Thank God for President Trump and our ICE agents. And now is the time, and let's see how many votes we have. 68 votes, and 75% of people say that yes, Iran US war will escalate, and 25% of people say that no, it would not escalate. Let's now wrap up this transmission, and we will come back once we have some more news. Do subscribe the channel, like the video as well, and take care of yourselves. Thank you.